Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Right, today we have a one-to-one recreation map, and I've done enough of these map reviews to know exactly how this show is going to go. I know exactly the sort of standards that we're going to be looking for. I know exactly the things that are going to go wrong with the map, and I know exactly how, well, frankly, average to poor this map is going to be. And preconceptions can be very wrong indeed, and sometimes I have to put my hands up and say, do you know what, I reluctantly reviewed this map and I was right. And well, sometimes I'm gonna say I reluctantly reviewed this map and I was wrong. Today is one of those days. Today's map is very good, possibly the best example we've ever seen of this type of map. Daily reminder. Thank you for clicking that like button, licking it or clicking it. I don't know what came out of my mouth there, but I'll take either. If you want to lick the like button, you go ahead and do that. Today's map is Arnhem by, well, one-to-one scale, by Pz or Pz.Magnus. I'm going with PZ. I've got a feeling that it is PZ in pronunciation there. There's your start square, and looks good, doesn't it? I think looks good. Yep, good for that. Then you have terrain heights. We are actually in the Netherlands. It's going to be not very hilly, and it isn't very hilly. There is one hill we'll have a look at later though. Resources, field painting, but you know what? I think that's going to work. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And we've got a little bit of fishing if you have Sunset Harbour. It's not really a fishing map, but if you want to do fishing, there is fishing. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it is a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. We have a few things to subscribe to as well. 22 items. Some of them aren't absolutely essential, but 22 items. We've got a really well written out description as well, which covers all bases. I'll talk about those a little bit later on as well. But if you are looking to do a one-to-one recreation, we even have links to the overlays. And that's about as good as you can hope for. Certainly as good as I could hope for anyway. We're not going to have a look at the one-click collection, but there are a few things on there that aren't absolutely, truly, essentially required. But just go and grab them anyway, yeah? Unlimited tree mod, definitely. We have got quite a few trees. So anyway, we have really good standards. Now, I was tempted to get some screenshots of Arnhem from Google Earth and show you like for like. Just take my word for it. They've done an exceptional job. Even things like embankments and whether there are trees on an embankment. And look at this. Just look at beautifully done intersection. Now, looking at this though, I'm going to tell you, first thing I thought was there's going to be at some point some street light clipping, because these bridges are pretty low. I mean, realistically low. Look at those trucks going under there. Thank you. Well-timed trucks there. Very happy with them. Yeah, I figured there would be some streetlight clipping. We got away with it on this first crossing, so we'll look out for that street. There's bound to be. There always is. On these maps, there's always streetlight clipping somewhere where we've got the really low bridges, or even the bridges are so low they are at ground level. We see that as well. It happens. It does happen. Next bridge, perfectly lovely height as well. And streetlight clipping. Let's have a little look. Nothing on that one. And nothing on that one either. Another one a little bit further up. We'll go and have a little look at that. No glitching in the roads either, even though it's been pushed quite hard. Although we also do have lay mathematics in operation as well. And no streetlight clipping on that one either. So yeah, all of the credit is still in place. So yes, Arnhem, decent sized town, a historic town, very historic town, rebuilt massively after the war for reasons. I mean, it was a bit of a mess after the war. I think that's the politest way we can put that one. The Netherlands was very heavily hit during the war, and a lot of rebuilding, a lot of reconstruction. It gives you a chance, obviously, to put in a lot of things like freshly built cycle routes. Why not? Why not? Netherlands have done an amazing job of rebuilding their country in the 20th century, second half of the 20th century, and long may they continue to do so. Anyway, the highway layouts are absolutely spot on. We have a lot of trees, and I would say the trees are pretty fine. Again, this is all, they've all been worked from overlays, so we have trees where there are trees, and we'll check that out in the second half of the show. Right, okay, coming down to, is this a bridge? No, these are power lines. We'll skip straight past those. No point really stopping and looking at power lines when we have more lane mathematics going on and our next intersection. Lots of crossings going on here. There will be one clipping street light on one of these somewhere. So let's check here. These are really close together. There's bound to be one here, and, well, there isn't. And there's bound to be one here, and there isn't. Nor there either. Nor here. Are you spotting a pattern? Is the pattern that this creator is possibly very lucky indeed, or has worked around the streetlights? Yep, you've got it. I've gone over this entire map, and while I haven't looked at absolutely every crossing, because there's a lot of map, I have not found a single clipping street lamp, and I was certain that there would be. Now, the embankments, I was worried about those as well, because some of them looked a bit sharp and a little bit awkward, and maybe sort of like just like a blunt section, like this bit in the middle here is a very blunt section there. Maybe it needs a smoothing tool, I thought to myself. Let's go and have a look. Went down street view, and this is exactly what it looks like, pretty much. I mean, we are working with a vanilla theme, but it's pretty close. It's as close as the creator was gonna do. We have a roundabout, a lovely looking roundabout there, with the hill. We'll come back to the hill second half of the show. I'm not going to try and do the Dutch pronunciation of the hill, but there is a hill. We head off towards the edge of the map. Now, I'm going to pull back in a moment and show you just this one section of the map over here, where we've got another. Let's take a look at this intersection as well, which is, again, it's fine. It's a good... right at the edge of the map sort of intersection that works quite nicely. Anyway, yes, we are edge of map, so let's have a quick look at where we are looking back into the map. I haven't found any problems at all yet. Look at the trees, the way they've been painted there in clusters and in little straight lines, and it looks and feels natural and credible. And we'll come back to this roundabout a bit later on as well, because I want to talk about the tree placement on there as well. Heading down towards the start square now, and we're switching between roads. Now, I haven't had a look to see whether we are using the exact right sort of roads. I'm pretty sure we are, though. I'm pretty sure we must be. There's no way that after going to all of this effort, Pz.Magnus is going to choose the, yep, street lamp in the middle of those, perfectly, is going to choose the wrong sort of road. I haven't gone down to that degree of detail, but it's got to be right. It has got to be right. Even if it is wrong, the vibe of the attention to detail is right there as well. Crossing of the river there as down to the next intersection. I think we'll go through. I think there's a crossroads up here that we'll take a little right on when we get to it. Some lakes. Yeah, lots of low-lying water. Yeah, don't mess with the sea level on this map is the instruction as well in the description. You will be flooded. I'm not sure you'd want to mess with the sea level on the map, but if you do, you're going to be underwater very quickly. Crossroads, here we go. This is the crossroads. We'll take a little right there and go see if Miss Diane is up here. Only Brits will get that reference. Okay, heading off towards Miss Diane. Not Princess Diane. No, not Princess Diana. Miss Diane. Yes, Miss Diane. Oh, what a character Benny was, eh? Okay, heading over the rivers again, looking good. Coming down to a little roundabout here. There will be a little bit of stop-start traffic, but this is going to be a very strong map for... We'll go onto the rail. We haven't gone to the rail yet. It's a very strong map for multiple sorts of builds. Now, in terms of problems, this for me is the biggest one on the entire map. Got a little bit of catenary chaos. Little bit of catenary chaos, which stands out because it's the only thing on the map so far that has been problematic. Now, let me quickly talk about 5 stars for detail. To get a 5th star for detail, first of all, your map has got to have a substantial amount of focus on detail, whether it's fantasy detail or feature areas or trying to recreate an area like for like as we've got here. If a map has gone to an extensive amount of effort, you've got a chance of a 5th star because concentration has gone into detailing. You can't get a 5th star if you have a major detailing flaw. Now, a little bit of catenary chaos like that is a minor detailing flaw. In terms of a second minor detailing flaw, that is where you lose your 5th star. You can have 1, you cannot have 2. So at this point, I'm looking at the map, looking for a second minor detailing flaw so that I can not give. It's always about not giving the 5th star, looking for any excuse from this point in to not give it. Now, we could talk about, has the exact amount of detailing gone into the trees? I think sufficient has gone into the trees. I have no problem with that. It just feels like it's right for the map. I think the map has been done superbly well. Anyway, we're going to take a brief intermission. We'll come back, we'll check for the shipping. Do you think there'll be shipping on today's map? Do you? A little map like that with the low bridges? Well, we'll come back after this intermission and I'll tell you all about it.
Do you watch BonBonB with your morning coffee? Do you want to feel closer to the show? Then you need either the modern or retro mug from BonBonB. Click the information button now.
And so back to Arnhem 1:1 scale by Pz.Magnus, and we have an edge of map connection and a shipping route. But we also, in the description, have a link to the AVO mod, which enables you to switch out vanilla shipping for custom ships. And there are links to tiny little custom ships that would look much more suited to this map. Got a bit of a tight turning here. I'd like to have seen a rounded turning because the ships are only going to go back out. They won't come this way. They will come back out and go out the edge of the map the other way. Because this shipping route doesn't actually connect to the end of the map, so you won't actually ever have any through shipping. The only shipping you're going to get is any that you generate from any docks that you put down. Let me just show you the edge of the map over here. Doesn't actually connect, so there's no shipping clipping either. Because now water flow, it's a working river system, but I saw what I thought was a huge problem, a huge mistake, and that is I thought the map was running backwards because this looks like a confluence and it's actually a divergence. We actually have the river splitting, going off in 2 different directions. So I went off to Google Earth and I had a look and followed the rivers all the way to their ends, and it does diverge there. So again, that is spot on. It's not the world's deepest or strongest flowing river, but it's going to be more than adequate for your needs, and we've got all of those lakes we can dip into as well. So all in all, we've got a really nice 1:1 map that looks pretty photorealistic. I think we can agree with that one. Let's have a look down here. This clearing here, that is a golf course in real life. I haven't memorized the entire map, and I certainly am not going to try any pronunciations of districts or anything like that. But if you know the Arnhem area, just loving the clearings as well for the roads. Yeah, if you know the Arnhem area, you're going to be looking at this going, my God, that is spot on. Trust me, it absolutely is. It's just incredible the amount of accuracy we've got. When we come down, obviously it looks more like a playable Cities Skylines map. And for me, I think this could be done both ways. You could take this as a recreation of Arnhem. No drowned trees on this map either, by the way. Just sort of get that in there in case you're looking for drowned trees for marking off that detailing error. So yes, it's one that, yeah, you could recreate Arnhem 1:1, or with the highways and rail connections that we've got, I think, and again, these are the elevated sections here, I think just work really well. No blue mantle, been done superbly to avoid that as well. Nice use of that trick. It is just exquisite, and you could do a regular custom build. It's a G, an Oxbow G. Again, beautifully done. I don't know what more to tell you, really. This is probably the best executed 1:1 style map I have ever reviewed. And that's saying something. I always assumed that a map like this was going to be poor. Yeah? Now coming down here, this translates to, I think, is it the something deer? Anyway, there's a stag statue on the top of this mound. And was it like the wild deer or something? I did research it, it's gone out of my head. Too many other things on this map to retain all of the information that I've researched. But again, that looks absolutely spot on to the area. The buildings around that in real life are quite interesting too. The tree lines here are there in real life, and they are aligned in that direction as well. So again, I'm looking at that going, yeah, no, yes, absolutely, good job. Another good job. The thing is there a second detailing error on this map? Well, I spent ages looking, and the best I could do for you was, well, there is one little thing down here. A couple of trees on the road. These are minor detailing errors. And so when I don't give this map 5 stars, it's because catenary chaos in one location and 2 little trees on the road. But it's still going to score very highly. Do we have anything else? Oh, actually we don't. I couldn't find anything else wrong with this map. You may think I'm being too picky, but I have to draw a line. 5 stars is supposed to be for perfection. And I allow for 1 minor error. 2 minor errors isn't perfection. It's very close to perfection, but it's still not perfection. Anyway, this is the middle of the map. It's just look. Can you imagine building here? I really could. You probably want Traffic Manager, though, to handle all the traffic that you're going to have. Going to have some traffic issues on the map, but I think that's part of the challenge. And on this map, I think it's definitely a really lush part of the challenge. Loving that loop round as well. That's, again, based on the real-life location. Right, start square, which means we've got an asset of the day. And this one, I think, I don't know if this is a building like this in Arnhem, but it feels like there probably should be. If there isn't, I am surprised. The generic arena by N2J. It's an arena. I'm guessing they play concerts in there and so forth, and maybe boxing. I don't know. Maybe they show what's map on the big screen, or maybe they don't. Factoids, because factoids. Now, today's factoid, I'm going to tell you, is absolutely rubbish. But I'm going to read it anyway, because it's vaguely interesting. Like most factoids are only vaguely interesting. Every time a fly lands on an ocean liner, it causes it to sink lower into the water by a microscopic amount. But it does cause it to sink nonetheless. The answer to that, of course, is to load the ship with 10,000 spiders. That won't cause any problems, will it? No flies and no passengers. Generic arena, anyway, by N2J. This is really lovely work, and I would definitely use this on this map were I to start building a city tomorrow. Which I won't be, because I'm too busy building a map at the moment. Map. What do you think of today's map? Today's map. Is it a 1-star map? Oh, I'm going to stop that now before my lips fall off. Is it a 5-star map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Click the I button now in the top right corner of your screen. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. Which is cool. But what do I think of today's map? Well, I think I'm going to like this one. Aesthetically, it's really strong. Looks exactly like it should do. It's done to beautiful detail, beautiful quality. I don't think we've gone to the highly polished levels. There could have been extra polishing. I don't think the map needed it, but there could have been extra polishing. So I'm going to give it a very strong 4 stars. It is a very strong map, and I love it. Detailing is really strong. We've already covered it. You know I can't give 5 stars, but I can only find 2 very minor details with it, and it's really strong throughout. So I'm going to go as high as you can go without reaching that 5th star. Gameplay potential. Right, I think you could play this as a recreation. You could play this as a custom style build. I will recommend the Traffic Manager mod, and if you've got that, I think you're good to go with a big old fat 5 stars for gameplay. I can't find anything, no reason not to play this one. And because of that, I really have to give it the BonBonB seal of approval. It's the best example of a 1-to-1 scale map I have ever seen on this show. Or not on this show, to be honest with you, because if I saw one that wasn't on this show, I would be reviewing it on this show, because it would need to be reviewed. So it's the best one I've ever seen, I think. I don't think there's another one. Remind me, tell me in the comments if I've missed one that we did earlier that I thought was better. And if you're still here, you're part of the 20 and out elites. Use the word of the day into the comments to score yourself 100 population points just for fun, and I'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What's Map series. Have a great evening.